everything is about choice in life. You can sit here and you can complain about how this whole thing is bogus. It doesn't make sense. I don't like the sound of it. That's bullshit. The whole world is, I'm blaming the whole world for everything that's happening in my life. You could be that person.
Yeah.
It's a choice.
Yeah.
Or you can be open, accept the facts, and use them to your full advantage going forward, and build and maintain an ideal life for yourself. The choice is yours. Is it the red pill or the blue pill? So when people feel about certain thing in a particular way, and then they see it in their outer world, what they see is the result of the way they feel.
Yes.
But what they think they see is the proof that what they feel is right. That's the worst part.
Yes.
That's the worst part. And the truth is that if you change the way you feel, you can change your destiny.
How do you do that?
Basically, the idea is that we have to become masters of controlling the types of thoughts and feelings that we entertain. That's the goal. But that's a lifelong lesson in a way. And until we master that, we need to use tools such as meditation or
Revision.
sleep,
Revision.
revision. And these are the two gateways through which we can
Enter into the subconscious.
enter into the subconscious, but in an intentional way.
Yes.
So that's it.
I want to demystify the consciousness. I want to demystify it.
Go ahead.
Everyone's
what is consciousness?
A field, a invisible realm, the source of all, the substance of all things,
Okay.
the source of all creation, the place from which everything manifests, the God that everyone tries to describe, the power that you feel inside.
Mm-hmm. So everything is consciousness.
Everything is consciousness.
What about the people who think that the human consciousness is inside the head? What would you tell them?
I think nobody knows where your thoughts are located. I think nobody really knows where mind is, where soul is. Where is the soul? If you had to guess, where is the soul?
If I had to guess?
Guess. If you had to concretely point to where is the soul, could you even point in a direction? When people say within where? Not inside your body within.
No, the soul is not within, but the soul itself is your individual pure consciousness.
Where is it?
Where is it? Wherever consciousness is.
So not in the body is the point.
No, not in the body.
Okay, so it's in a different dimension.
Yes.
This is so important for everyone to understand because it will help them remember.
What is?
The mechanism behind creation. I think that it's so shrouded in mystery, the way that things are actually, that the way that things manifest in this world.
Mm-hmm.
And so many people don't know where things come from or how they're created.
It doesn't even cross their mind that they are the creator of absolutely everything that happens in their lives. So today we're here to explain that.
So talk about consciousness.
Everything is consciousness. Consciousness is unconditioned.
Yes.
It's pure. And it becomes conditioned by a human, by a man, through beliefs, through feelings, constructs, everything, everything, everything. Everything external, everything that is beamed into you from the moment you arrive. You arrive as a baby
Yes.
in your pure consciousness,
Yes.
clean slate. And then things start one after the other, piling and conditioning you and building your construct.
How to
This, how
behave
that, how, like everything.
based on
everything,
your
everything.
society, based on your culture,
Yes.
how you're supposed to behave,
Yeah. Yeah.
how you're supposed to interact with other people, how you're supposed to carry yourself,
Mm-hmm.
what you're supposed to think about certain things. This is common knowledge, they say.
They say. So they say.
So they
But
say.
even they don't know.
Yes.
But the truth is that consciousness is the secret of creation.
Understanding what it is and the mechanism behind how things come about.
Yes.
Right? Because so many people look at the outside world. They look in the mirror and they don't know that that's the mirror. And they think that I'm just going to change the mirror.
Yeah.
And
Whatever
therefore,
I see, yeah,
and therefore everything is going to fix itself. But in reality, you look within first.
That's true.
And
As
then the
within, so
reflection
without.
and then the reflection will change.
That's right. The knowledge of the law of creation and how it operates and the method of operating. If we manage to master that in our lives, then we can build and maintain the ideal life individually.
It starts first with discipline though, right?
It starts with discipline, by disciplining the types of thoughts and feelings that you entertain. Because the mechanism is very simple. The mechanism is an idea followed by a feeling, which results into action. It's simple as that. But for the purpose of explanation, it's easier to say that consciousness takes on a special conditions. You have conscious and you have subconscious. And the conscious is the one who wants. The conscious is the one who is selective. We can call it the male division. Whereas the subconscious has no opinion, is absolutely impersonal, and is, so to speak, the female division. And these two, by this love dance, doing this love dance, are the reason of what happens in your outer world as a result. So, for instance, you have a thought, you have a belief that produces a feeling in you. And that feeling is going to impress the subconscious. And then the subconscious is going to take this idea and express it in your outer world. So when people feel about certain thing in a particular way, and then they see it in their outer world, what they see is the result of the way they feel.
Yes.
But what they think they see is the proof that what they feel is right. That's the worst part.
Yes.
That's the worst part. And the truth is that if you change the way you feel, you can change your destiny.
How do you do that?
You do that by the desired state of being, maintaining that through your beliefs, through your actions, before it even happens. And therefore, you switch your frequency, you switch the wavelength you operate on. And then that will then reflect in your outer world, everything will change eventually. It will catch up. So back to being able to control your thoughts, being able to control your feelings. It's very important.
So it's about disciplining your conscious mind.
It's very important to be able to discipline your conscious mind, because every single thought you feel must be expressed. Every single thought you feel, every single belief, every single idea, when felt, must be expressed by the subconscious, regardless of the nature of the thought or belief. Could be negative, could be positive, could be indifferent. Doesn't matter. Because neutral, it doesn't matter. It must be expressed. So if you don't control what kind of thoughts and feelings you entertain, you will be definitely expressing undesired states.
Give me an example, especially when it comes to fear, which a lot of people experience these days, right? You get these scary scenarios beamed into your mind, if you allow them to be, right? Especially when it comes to the news, especially when it comes to social media, especially when it comes to just hearing the negative thoughts about, right, what sells these days? Fear.
Fear.
How
Fear,
dangerous
negativity,
this
how
is.
dangerous the world is.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a thought that gets put into your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're disciplined about it,
Yeah.
if you're careful about, and you understand what this is and why it's being put out there in the first place, then you can just say, okay, thank you very much, but no, I'm good. I know where I stand. There's a certain way, there's a state of being that I'm living in at the moment, and this type of thing is not good with me. But if you take that in and you begin to believe this as true, you intellectualize it first. Yeah, this is true. This is the way of things. And then if you begin to feel this, your subconscious will then assume that this is true.
Yeah.
And then this is how you're gonna see the world on the outside. It's a dangerous world out there. You're gonna see negativity everywhere.
And there is your example. Could be more personal example. Could be of somebody who believes that they are not worthy of being rich, for example, that they're always going to be poor. The same thing will happen if you believe that you are this type of person who will always be poor. This is the type of impression that will be basically conceived as an idea and impressed on your subconscious, and then that's going to be expressed in your reality. You will have no money.
Why? Because you see yourself as somebody who is
poor,
lacking something?
Yeah, you come from lack. You come from a place of lack.
And so what's the right approach? If this is how you've been thinking until this moment, how do you shift into the other state?
So just think about the power that we humans have. Okay, so we can use our imagination. We can imagine. We can use our feelings in order to feel. And then we have the freedom to come up with whatever our heart desires. Okay? So that fundamentally makes us creators of our destiny, of our life, of our reality. It's huge. This is the law of creation. So if one wants to change their reality, they need to basically detach from their deceiving evidence of their senses, and they need to live and act and feel as though they have already achieved their desired state for it to appear in their lives.
In which realm can you achieve that desired state, right? Because people look at their exterior, their outside experience, and they don't realize that that's the result. That's the result of a state of being.
Yes.
That's the result of the beliefs that you've taken on about yourself, about the world, about other people. And then it expresses that all around you. And then you look at that and you look at the facts and you don't realize that those are the flowers. Those are the fruits of the tree.
Yeah. But sensation precedes manifestation.
Yeah.
So you can use that. You can use that. The idea is born first. The idea, the thought, the belief, right? If it's supported by a feeling, how you feel about that, whether it produced a feeling of joy or whether it produced a feeling of fear within you, that's how it will manifest. That's how it will appear in your life. So how can you use that to your advantage? The way to do that is to control the feelings, to control your thoughts. Like I said, it doesn't matter the type of thought, the type of idea that you come up with. It doesn't matter. If it's felt, it will be expressed in your life. And this is, I guess, the place where we should mention that the human body is filter of emotions. Filter of emotions. Just think about that for a second. Every emotion that you have, when it's negative and it's not expressed verbally, or you don't write it out, it doesn't come out of you, you don't share it, you keep it inside, it's there, it's eating you from within, it leads to a place of dis-ease.
Explain dis-ease.
Dis-ease is where you're not at ease, but it's also disease. Every single disease out there you can think of is caused because of something that is contained within the body, that is not positive and it's not expressed.
It's such a personal accusation, right? When you tell somebody that the reason that they're sick, that the reason they're not unhealthy, that the reason they're not living the life that they wish to live, that they're suffering, whatever they're suffering, is because of their own choices and their own beliefs.
It's an unconscious choice, for sure. Nobody wants to be sick on purpose, God forbid. But in life, sometimes, basically what happens is that you want attention, for instance, from the person that you love. And that person treats you badly, no matter what. And at one point, you're taking, you're thinking, maybe if I got sick, like this person will finally, turn to me and shower me with all the attention and love that I need. You know what I mean? Maybe it's like a nanosecond of a thought, but you felt it. At that very moment, you felt it, like you're desperate, and that's one of those thoughts that comes in and says, do I have to get sick to be seen, to be loved? And then you move on. You don't even remember you ever thought that thought. But the thought was felt. And the desire was to be seen. And so the how is never your concern, right? The universe is going to arrange things in such a way for you. I love the analogy of this widow who lost her husband and really wanted to move out of the city and live in the countryside, but she didn't have the money. And that was her desire. She wanted to live in the countryside, but the problem was she didn't have the money. And so one night, shortly after the funeral, during a rainy night, she had an accident with her car. She was intact. The car was destroyed. But what happened is that neighbors would say, poor woman, she just lost her husband. Now she had this accident. Thank God she didn't die. She's only slightly injured. But poor woman, poor, right? Because what happened? An accident. How did it happen? Well, it was a rainy night and you could barely see the road. in reality, the part that nobody talks about or doesn't even think about is why what happened. Why? The why behind everything. And the why behind everything turns out that after the accident, she collected money from the insurance. And the money was so good that she could go and buy that little cottage in the countryside and live there. So basically, her dream, her desire that she felt, her idea was fulfilled. Now, the means through which it was fulfilled is out of our control, but the desire was fulfilled. So the same thing is with these disease situations. It's very touchy topic because nobody, for just even healthy people don't even want to admit that they are the creators, the writers, the directors, the producers, the actors, the everything of their movies. They're just an actor in a character. And it's funny because, so just to finish that thought, not even a healthy person wants to admit that. God forbid somebody who went through a grave disease and managed to come out, and they would turn around and be like, did I want that? Did I need that? How can you say that I caused this to myself? Are you out of your mind? I can understand that. It's hard. It's a hard pill to swallow. But at the same time, you could sit there and you can be in denial all your life, or you could take this and use it to liberate yourself and then to take control.
Yes.
It's like a tool, another tool, but it's the main tool. It's the main key, the key that unlocks every door.
Otherwise, you remain a victim of your circumstances.
Yes.
Unless you assume your true power,
Mm-hmm.
unless you reclaim your freedom
Yes.
to create your reality, to live the life the way that you wish to live it, then you're constantly giving away that great power to something else, to someone else. Oh,
blaming the weather, the anything you can think of that you can blame, and where is this going to get you?
Not even that. It's the reason that I got this is because of this, in a good way too, in a positive way, instead of the fact that your belief in yourself was the thing that got that for you in the first place.
Yes. So back to the fact that feeling is the only medium through which thoughts are conveyed to the conscious. Okay? So to control your thoughts doesn't mean to restrain them or to suppress them.
Yeah.
Right? We just explained how,
like a tyrant,
how dooming this is. The idea is to discipline, which is the important part, right? Disciplining ourselves to imagine and entertain only such feelings that makes us happy, that would make our life pleasant to live, right?
Yeah.
So positivity. I cannot stress how important positivity is for each and every person. Harvest the good, because in the end of the day, everything just is. Everything.
Yes.
It's all about what you're gonna make out of it. What kind of meaning and value you're gonna assign to whatever you think. And yes, we live in a horrible world in a sense that there is too much pain out there, but
if you choose to focus on that,
if you focus on that, you basically completely relinquishing your power to do anything with your gifts, because you just can't operate from that higher state of being where you're the best version of yourself, because something is shifting you. It's you're not grounded, you're not centered, you're not positive, you're not full of joy, you're not spreading light and love. You're not that person because you're allowing outside
influence
that is not serving you in any way. If anything, you need to strive to be the best version of yourself, not only for the people that you love or your family, but But in order to be able to bring forth those gifts and skills and, you know, your soul's purpose, and follow that as your objective in order to make change in this world that way, if you really want to help the world, that's the only way. You know, you can't help the world by allowing to get hurt from the pain that is happening out there, and then complaining about it in your social life, at parties and at home. It's just not going to take you anywhere. It's going to keep eating you.
It's not about really changing the world, it's about changing yourself. If you see it a certain way, you have to change yourself, because that's the way that you're seeing it.
Mm.
And it's not about becoming something.
Mm.
I think that's one of the biggest things that I learned. It's not about working towards something. That version of you already exists, because everything already exists. All you need to do is align yourself with that version of yourself, which already does those things. The best example for me has always been, if you say that once I get this amount of money, once I get into this, once I have this type of freedom, once I have the ability to choose my schedule, then I'm going to get into shape. Then I'm going to get healthy. Then I'm going to eat better once I have that. But that's never going to happen, because you're always going to be chasing that thing and then make the excuses for why you're not doing what it is that
That's true.
that you should be doing. When in reality, how does that version of it's so easy. How does that version of yourself live? And that's what it means to get into the state of the wish fulfilled. How does that version of yourself, the one that is already healthy, even though you may not see it in the exterior world, you may look at yourself in the mirror, which is a reflection of the beliefs that you've taken on in the past, and you may say, wow, I see this, I do not see a healthy person. And then what do you need to do there? Well, you need to start living as that version of yourself that is healthy. So when you choose what you put into your body, not just food, but also thoughts. Are you bringing in healthy thoughts? Are you bringing in healthy food? And also, in terms of the workout process, you wake up and you live like a person who is healthy. What would you do?
Well,
how would you live?
That's exactly bring me back to my point, that when one wants to change anything about their state, their current conditions, they have to think from the place of the new state, not of, but from. So say I'm not healthy. I'm not going to get healthy if I say I will be healthy. As regardless of how convincing I'm going to say that, it's just not going to work out. But what will work if I say I am healthy, because I am healthy is dominant. It's supported with a feeling over I will be healthy, which only confirms that I'm currently not healthy.
Yes.
So always, if you want to change your state, you have to think from the new state of your desire.
That which you hope for has substance and is possible if you become aware of the version of yourself that has it. So the reason that you hope for something,
yes,
the reason that you desire something, is because somewhere, wherever that is in your soul, you believe that it's a possibility. That can only be if it has some sort of substance. And so all that needs to happen, right? You wouldn't hope for something that's impossible. And so you're hoping for something because somewhere deep inside you know that this exists, which means it's already there.
Precisely.
All you need to do is align with it.
Yes.
Otherwise, you wouldn't hope for it.
Because
you wouldn't hope for something that has no substance, that doesn't exist already. You can't understand this, and yet we all feel this. Why else would it be in such a way? You hope that there's a solution to your problem, which means that there is a solution. You already see it. You see that version of yourself that solves that problem. You see the solution to your problem. You see the life that you wish to have. You see the love of your life. You see the lifestyle that you wish to experience, which means that it exists. It exists.
It already exists.
It already exists.
You already are what you want to be.
You are.
But you refuse to believe it. And that's
Yeah.
the only reason why you're not seeing it in your life, because you refuse to believe it. Because people are used to rely on deceiving evidence of the senses. But if everything happens through your imagination and through feeling and to your the freedom that you can build and imagine and feel anything you want, then you understand that this outside world is only the final result.
Yeah.
But you're skipping the whole mechanism that comes before that. And the two gateways to intentionally, when you know the mechanism, to intentionally impress your subconscious is through meditation or through sleep. How many people do meditate on a daily basis?
I know many people that are afraid, I don't know if afraid, but don't meditate because they cannot be in this type of silence in their own mind, in their own heart. They can't do it.
Right? Why? Is because it's scary. You're gonna hear your voice and you're not gonna know what to do with it. You're gonna face your demons. Like, what's going on?
It's probably that.
Listen, I know when there is a will, there is a way. So if they are not doing it, that means that they don't have the desire to do it.
Well, that's why we always say that you should lean into the thing that scares you most, the fear that you have.
Yes.
That's exactly what
Where
you
you
need to
should go.
lean
For
into.
sure.
That's exactly
Yeah,
where
that's
you
your
need to
shot.
go. And then sleep, of course, everybody takes for granted. They also think that sleep is where you go to just recover your body for the next day. In reality, it's a portal.
It's a portal. Yes, it's not. It's something that we should all take advantage of. You know, the last 30 minutes before you go to bed, it's not for reading books, and it's not for swiping, and it's not for rehearsing your tomorrow or bitching about what happened today. It's about putting yourself in the state of being in your best version of yourself. In your best version of yourself, and fall asleep like that, content, happy, full of joy, full of gratitude, just best possible version. Like, if you can build in your mind the best, sexiest, most spectacular version of yourself, fall asleep like that.
Even if you had the
Because
worst day ever?
this is what you should do when you have a bad day. You should actually reverse this day. You have to imagine this day as if it happened precisely the way you wanted it to. It's called the revision.
So it's not about just rewinding the day.
It's not rewinding the day. Not only it's not rewinding the day, but it's you have to imagine it in the most perfect way, as if to erase what happened and tomorrow to wake up with the feeling that yesterday went exactly the way you wanted. And the purpose of this exercise is because you don't want to keep anything negative, any bitter taste living within you, when you're within your body. Because this is, you fall asleep in this state, this is what you're going to bring to your subconsciousness. And she is going to take it exactly as you serve it to her. And she's going to reproduce this for you the very next day with no judgment. It's going to be, okay, this is what you bring me, no problem. Here it is. Here it is for you. Over and over and over again. Why would you do that when you can use this opportunity to show up to the subconsciousness in your best possible version of yourself and be like, okay, this is me. Bring me that. This is what I need. This is what I want. You can do that. We can all do that. You know, if you do this a couple of times, time after time, you're going to get better, you're going to get better, you're going to be, who knows how long time it's going to take you, maybe 7 times, and eventually you will manifest precisely that. It's magnificent when you know. chance, accident, fate. Perhaps it's a good time to speak about these things, how these things are not
accidental.
Accidental.
They don't happen just like that.
Yes, you know.
Nothing happens just
when
because
you
of
when you
some
when
sort
you
of
say,
coincidence.
"Oh, I was lucky," I was so lucky, or what an accident, right? It was an accident. Something was an accident, or you think that fate, your fate, was written. Who wrote your fate? When? Where? No, it's all you, through your feelings, through your thoughts. I already said it. The writer, the director, the actor, the producer, all of it. All you.
I like to say it couldn't have happened any other way.
It couldn't have happened any other way. And everything happens exactly as it should. Even the worst things, when they happen, one should always... It's hard in the moment, but when time passes, it's easier, because then it's the bigger picture, and then you're like, now I get it. But in the moment, it's very hard. When some kind of disaster destroys your house, for example, or you lose somebody you love, it's awful. These things are awful. But the silver linings, right? These big lessons that propel you to the next level, that help you become the new version of yourself, the better version of yourself. It's a constant evolving of the soul, of the spirit, the mind and body, everything. But the lessons need to be learned.
So, in other words, you choose your experience, whether you do it consciously or not. You choose your experience because you were meant to have it. You're meant to learn something.
Your subconscious impressions determine the conditions of your world. It's simple as that. And it starts with your thoughts and with your feelings, with your fears, where you place your attention.
It's always where you place your attention.
Yes. It's always where you place your attention. So we should just make sure that we are mindful. We practice mindfulness of what kind of thoughts we allow to affect us. It's not easy. It's not an overnight switch, but it could be a mindset. Starting tomorrow, I'm gonna, do this, and less of that, and just check in with yourself. And practice makes perfect. But it gets easier. It's not impossible. On the contrary. But you gotta want it. You gotta have that desire and belief in yourself. Until you master being able to control your thoughts and feelings, we should be using the tools of meditation and a revision of the day, the sleep, in order to intentionally impress the subconscious to get the expression of those so desired dreams and things in our outer world.
Beautiful.
It can be. When you know the mechanism and you working towards mastering it. Absolutely, it can be. It can be again, everything is about choice in life. You can sit here and you can complain about how this whole thing is bogus. It doesn't make sense. I don't like the sound of it. That's bullshit. I'm blaming the whole world for everything that's happening in my life. You could be that person.
Yeah.
It's a choice.
Yeah.
Or you can be open, accept the facts, and use them to your full advantage going forward. and have build and maintain an ideal life for yourself. The choice is yours. Is it the red pill or the blue pill? Yeah. And these beautiful souls is the law of creation. And now that you know its mechanism, you know what to do. You're in full control and you got this.
You've had the power all along. You just needed a reminder.
A friendly reminder. Let us know in the comments if this resonates with you and where you are at on your journey. We would love to hear from you. And we're looking forward to seeing you again next week when we're going to dive even deeper in the tools that are part of the blueprints of ethical and heart-centered living. See you next time.
Till next time.